Hey everyone, welcome to Hip Hop Healing Summit. This is your girl Raine, aka Raine Angel. I am here today with a special guest. Well, we are here today, We are here today with a special guest. We will be talking about survival and how he survived 20 years of prison. I myself am a two-time cancer survivor. I have survived the streets. I have survived life, and I thank God every day for getting me through it and placing me where I am today. And I'm here with my co-host.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Deacon Boe, aka Minister Roland Smith, and what we here as far as what this program consists of is actual credible messengers. And what credible messengers do is we come to give the community a message from credible people who went through a struggle or went through and survived a struggle or went through some kind of hardship in their life and came back to give back to others. So, you know, of course, you see the troubleshooter hat. The troubleshooter means, you know, we're here to solve our problems within our own community amongst ourselves. So with me today, I got somebody that, you know, survived 20 years in, and his name is
Elliott Williams. Survival of 20 years in prison, out in the streets now, doing the right thing, being a part of troubleshooters, and just putting my best foot forward every day that I'm out here to do the right thing, to always give back.
So, Brother L, could you do us a favor and tell us, how did you survive 20 years incarcerated?
20 years incarceration, I invited it and I survived it by being around positive people that did positive things and was in there to better themselves and not following the gangs and the nonsense that's in prison.
Wow. Yeah, so let me ask you a question, because now survival mode, meaning that you got to dip and dodge from the gunplay, you know, and things like that. How did you stay from getting in that kind of conflict? And, you know, what would be your advice to these young people and people if you had to go through that experience to stay away from, you know?
Yeah, show that it's not like, you know, to be glorified.
Well, not be glorified. What you have to do is, when you do get in there, they have programs in there if you want to get help. They have HUP, they have CAU, they have good organizations where brothers is in there doing the right thing. And if you want to be a part of that, all you got to do is tell them, put you on the call out, and they'll send you to them programs.
I'm sorry, can you say what those programs are? Because like a person like me, I don't know what that is.
Caribbean African Unity. It's a program where Caribbean people get together. You got Hispanics, where you go to the Hispanics. They got programs where you can learn about your history, your culture.
Okay.
You know, and there's a lot of things in there that you can get involved with that's positive, but it's up to you.
Okay.
That's what you really want to do. You can go to the yard, you can be a part of the gangs, but once you in there, you will see your gang friends, certain people not there no more. So you got to turn your life around. So
why did you become a part of a gang? What made you not become a part of the actual clique thing? Well,
when I first got in, and then I went to Sing Sing, I was speaking with my daughter, and she asked me when I'm coming home. And the officer was rushing me off the phone, and I started crying because I couldn't give her an answer. So I couldn't no longer be selfish and think it's just all about me. It was more about, I hurt my family.
Wow. Yeah, that's serious. So as far as like, you know, you meeting people in there, some of your brothers, they are part of organizations, and you stayed tuned. You didn't go and become, you know, you didn't, you know, give into the peer pressure as far as being a part of these organizations, these gangs. So you just stayed solid, you know.
Yeah, they got a lot of good programs. They had college programs. They got programs in there that can keep you grounded. And they got the YAP program, like children coming in to help them not be where we at, to teach them that, you know, prison is not what's up.
So did the actual prison actually, what did it do to help you? You sitting down, right? Because, you know, when we go inside, it's all about that sitting down time that makes us either better or worse. Did prison help you out in any way?
Well, I would say prison grounded me. It made me see things in a different perspective, because I seen brothers in there lost their lives. I seen brothers in there got beat up by the police. I seen brothers that couldn't take it no more, and they decided to hang up because that pressure, the peer pressure. You know, it's not easy as some people think. Some people, they like to live that lifestyle, but if you're really ready to turn your life around, you start doing things different.
I want to ask a question. So he asked about like how it affected your family, and you said, you know, when your daughter asked when you was coming home, you wasn't able to answer that, and that's what made you feel like you needed to change your life around. Can you say that it affected your daughter in any kind of way with you being gone for that long, like positively, negatively? Like, do you feel like it affected her in any way?
100%. I mean, that's the thing now. You know, the father's not being in your children's life, whether it's your daughter, your son. If you're incarcerated, you know, you got other people out there that's raising your family. You know, and my daughter, you know, it's good that me and her moms have a good relationship, and I was able to call her and speak with her, but I wasn't there in her life.
Right.
You know, and I promised her that I would never leave her, and I did. So that right there, that was like, I got to stay in contact. And today, me and her, so beautiful. We talk every other day on the phone. I mean, we have a beautiful relationship
love it.
And I'm proud of that.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of that, 100%. 100%.
That's what make you a troubleshooter, though. You know what I'm saying? A brother that come back and get right back into being a father, you know? So
Absolutely.
Technically, even though you lost time, you didn't lose your child. You thank God for that, you know? So your advice to anybody else that's going through this situation?
You know, for the youth and people that's out there now, you know, there's programs out here that we can get involved in, not to go to prison. And if you do go to prison, you know, take the time and take use of them programs to help you, you know, to turn your life around, to see things in a different perspective where, you know, you're not caught up. I mean, there's guys that I seen go in and out of prison, and they was like, yo, you came back. I said, no, I never left. You know, and you know, you got to take time and really think, wow, now I'm in here. Am I going to really change? Or, you know, I'm going to go out and come back again.
Yes.
You know? Some of us, you know, are we really changing, or are we becoming more clever and persuasive?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow. So, go ahead,
no, because, you know, I think back out on it, like my father, he was one that was like in and out of jail, and it affected me in a negative way. You know, he wasn't one that came out and did anything positive with his life. Like, he came home and he got on drugs and just like didn't pay me any mind at all. And that, you know, I tried to act like it didn't affect me anyway, but it really affected me in a bad way, because I'm like, you know, I started looking for love in every which way that, you know, I wasn't getting from my dad. And I used to tell people, I don't care, you know, I don't even barely know him, but deep inside it was really bothering me. So I think that that's a wonderful thing that you came home and like really got in tune with your family and with your daughter. I give you ultimate props for that.
But that's
like,
why we
yes.
here. That's the prime example, because she was left exposed. You know, her father left her uncovered. Because even though you inside, it's still a way you could protect your child. The best thing I gotta say for you, brother, is that you didn't, you know, you stayed connected to your family. When you came home, you got right to your daughter. And a lot of brothers don't do that, unfortunately. So, you know.
Well, you know, I say this, like, for people that has been incarcerated, you know, you got to work on yourself, and you got to work on what brought you to prison. You know, and if they have programs in there for whatever brought you in, take advantage of it. But go inside yourself and say, if I rob people, whatever you did, work on that.
Right.
Because if you go in there, you can come out with the master's degree and everything, but if you never worked on what actually brought you to prison, then that's maybe why you go back, because you've never really worked on what brought you there.
Right.
So, you know, focus up, go within yourself, and dig deep. You know, I learned to pull off every layer down to the core, and then I realized I was a very selfish individual, and now I'm more apologetic, where I take responsibilities for anything that I do now.
Yeah.
And I do my best. And anybody, if you're thinking of doing something bad, just stop and think for one brief moment. Stop and think, and 10 to 1, you won't do it.
Would you say that's what the problem is with most people? They lack accountability?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, you know, people just do things off the muscle, and they're not thinking about the repercussion. They're not thinking about you getting away from your family now. You know, you hurting somebody else's family now. You know, right now we're in a time and age where, you know, fathers got to step up. You know, we got to help our mothers. You know, we got to help our sisters. If we got them pregnant, we got to be a man.
Yeah.
We got to go back to the way it used to be. You know, we got to help the old lady or the old man. You know, we got to turn it back around. We got to get it to the way it used to be.
Absolutely.
That's right. Get that respect level back.
Yes.
We definitely got to get that respect level back. And, you know, in our neighborhood, that's how it was back in the days. You know, not for nothing. This is like my childhood brother right here. You know,
Yeah.
we went to junior high together. But one thing, you know, he was always tactical as a kid. So, but one thing I got for him, because him being so tactical, you don't expect for certain people to get caught up in certain things, right? That before you went there, that very day, that this is a hard question, because this is how you get there, how you get to the point where you lost yourself, and to the point where, or was it a survival tactic, or how you made it there, or what took you there?
I say the reason I let my ego supersede my intelligence.
Big one.
And I was worried about impressing people.
Mm-hmm.
And by me doing that cost me 20 years of my life. It cost my daughter me not being there. It cost my family for not being there for them. You know. And when you in there, like some dudes who know that's been in there, you sitting in a cell and you say, why me? And then sometimes, why not you? You know, or the judge did it, or this, you blame it on everybody but yourself.
Yeah. Where
you got to take responsibility for what you did. Whether you robbed, steal, shot, whatever you did, nobody made you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Nobody made you take that. So it's you. You got to look at you first. And some of us don't do that. So I go deep within myself. So every day that I can walk the earth, I do my best to do something positive and give back.
I want to give you a recommendation that was given to me when I got into ministry. You know, I was fellowship with a Muslim brother, you know, and he told me about a book by Eckhart Tolle called New Earth. And it's based off your ego. It's good for brothers like us, because we need to know what our ego can do to us, and how it really, that's what took us there. Our ego makes us always feel like we want to stand up and always got to scuffle it out. That's the biggest problem with most of us, that little false pride that we got, you know, especially as West Indian men, we get that big time, right? So, but one thing I got to ask you, right? Check that book out, though, by the way. But how did you stay out for 15 years? You've been out here for 15 years doing all the right things. You got to the workforce and you've been doing it. So that's a plus for me.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would say when we had a saying, Caribbean African Unity, CAU. It's when you get out, you stay out.
Yes.
So once you have that in your mind, if we can make it in here without getting in trouble, you know, I've got a couple infractions, one to the box, you know. It took a minute to wisen up. But the thing is, when you get out, surround yourself with people that's doing positive things. Absolutely. And good stuff. You know, they got organizations that, you know, you can become a part of. Get to the organization. Use the resources that's out here when you get out to stay out. And once you do that, you'll be fine. And you get a decent job. You know, you might not like the people, but if you in there and you can work for 10 cents, 15 cents an hour, you can get out here and you can work. Right. But it's up to you. Don't say, oh, you can work. But at the end of the day, it's up to you.
Right. Let me ask you something. Okay, so what would you give to the younger generation out here who thinks that, you know, doing the right thing is like lame or something, like, you know, because even when I could think back when I was younger, you know, like I can, you know, hustle anything now. And when I say hustle anything, I mean like starting a business up and doing something positive with my life, you know. But you got some younger people that think maybe, you know, if you're hustling, like I saw a friend of, let me say for instance, I saw a friend of mine not too long ago, maybe this was like last summer or something, and he was outside selling lemonade juices, and I would have never thought that. And I told him, I was like, I'm so proud of you. Like, and he had customers galore, because before that he was, you know, out in the streets selling weed and things of that nature, you know. And a lot of younger people, they think that, you know, if it's not something illegal, it looks lame. What would you give to the younger generation speaking on that?
Well, I mean, if you're in the drug business or if you're doing anything illegal, you know, it's going to run out eventually. But just the way you're doing everything illegal, you can do it legal. You can get the LLC. You can, whatever you want to try to do, just do it legal, and then you don't have to worry about going to jail. You don't have to worry about the police. Just get whatever you need. If you need to get permits or whatever, do that. At least you'll be on the street and you got longevity.
Absolutely.
Once you get locked up, you know, some dudes they stack some money, but then, you know, it runs out eventually. You know, you went on some trips, you had some cars, You had some nice women, but all of that runs out eventually. Or it can be vice versa. The ladies had some nice men. It runs out eventually.
Yeah.
You know, the best thing you can do now is whatever you do it positive. You know, focus on how to better yourself and how to help your family out. You know, let's get back to family. Let's get out to each other helping. You know, you see the people now, they selling oranges, they selling waters and stuff like that. But we think that's beneath us. You got people that's even picking up bottles. And I know some people that might be paying their rent with that.
Absolutely.
But it's a hustle. Mm-hmm. It's nothing's coming free. The fast money is cool, you know, but what happens when you go to prison?
Right.
Where all your boys is gone, where all your people's gone.
And just as fast as you get it, just as fast as you lose
it's
it.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta keep.
And the scammers, the scammers too. It's just a matter of time. But if you do it in a positive light, you laughed at the postal man, you laughed at the sanitation man. There's brothers that retired. You laughed at the people in housing. They're retiring from that.
Yes.
They still out there. They enjoying life. They taking trips while you sitting in the cell with the boo-boo face.
I got a good one for you, brother.
You know?
Yo, while you on that right there, I got a good one for you. So as far as, you know, one of the things that most brothers lose when they go inside is they lady, right? Wife, lady, whatever it is. Did she stand tall by you, or did Jody get her and she was gone? What was the say? You know,
I have to salute my daughter's mom.
Mm-hmm.
She stayed with me for a long time, but I manned up and told her, "Yo, go live your life."
Good.
You dig what I'm saying? I said I'm gonna be here for a while, and I'm not gonna put you through that. So as a man, I just said all I ask is, let me stay in my daughter's life, you know, and you know, as much as you can, if you come see me, and as long as I can see her and talk to her, that's all that matters. But go and live your life. You know, because it's not for everybody. Yeah. You know, it's not fair whether you're a man or woman that you ask somebody to do that time with you, because they doing the bid with you. They doing it with you, and it's not easy. The stuff they got to go through to come see you, to get on the bus, to go through the search, it's a lot. It's not easy. And for me going in the prison, it was very humiliating. I got to take off my clothes and strip in front of other men and be searched by these officers and open my cheeks up, and that's not manly stuff.
Right.
That ain't cool.
I don't miss that.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's not cool. That's not what's up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Not good.
Now, if you got a decent job and you working, you ain't got to worry about none of that.
I can say that's like a form of buck breaking, though, right? You know, they said like when our slaves had to go through the buck, but it
that's
is
what I tell. It's modern day slavery.
It's
being
the
in
most
prison.
humiliating part. I get it. That part right there, bro.
That part
that's tough.
I mean,
that's tough.
you know, you enjoy the visit and stuff like that, but they don't tell you, you know, when you go back and you got to strip down butt naked and the guy right there and, you know, spread over, bend over, and all that. You know what I mean? That's humiliating. You know what I mean? It's not.
Absolutely.
You know, and then you get mad at your family because they can't bring you this and they can't bring you that, and they're struggling.
Right.
You know, it's not a good feeling. It's not nice. It's not nice at all. You know, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. You know, that's why today I do my best to just stay positive and continue to do positive things. You know, I feel that's the best way. For the youth, even, you know, you think the fast money is good, but it's not. It's not. A steady flow, a nice job, that'll work. Not to say it's gonna be easy. We all hit rough parts, but you got to keep digging.
I believe that, you know, it's crazy because I know you was a man of high stature. You had, you know, you was a hustler, boy. We was out there, you know, and I know for me, it was the positive, you know, the negative. I turned my negative to a positive, and I said, if I could go hard for the devil, I can go even harder for God.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, you turn that positive because you did it so well negatively, and you did. I gotta admit, because you somebody I remember. You did, right? So I'm keeping it real. You was one of the real ones, brother, and I salute to you for that, for surviving. Because a lot of people didn't survive. I salute you for that. But then the biggest thing I salute you for is coming home now and being here with us as a credible messenger, as somebody who's giving back. You know, so what's your take on that? How you feel about?
Well, you know, that part, you know, back in the days, I would say, you know, zero tolerance for a lot of things. And, you know, if you're my brother, then, you know, I'm going all out at all. You know, it didn't matter.
Right.
You know, but like I said, you got to stop and think. You know, back then, you know, I made it to here because maybe God had a better plan for me.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why I made it. You know, I mean, I have did some things that I'm not proud of. You know, and I stand tall. You know, and I still stand on a lot of morals and ethics. But now it's for positivity.
Yes.
You know, it's not for. I did all the negative stuff. So now, why is it so easy to do bad and so hard to do good?
Mm-hmm.
But now I know within myself, it's more easy to do good, and it's very, very hard to do bad because I know the consequences.
Absolutely, you made that choice to pick the right thing to do.
You gotta make that choice, and then, you know, like I said, we have to take time to stop and think on who we're hurting. You know, our children. Some fathers don't even talk to their daughters or sons.
Right.
Some mothers don't even talk to their daughters or sons because you choose the street life over them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And we just got to find a way as a people that we can turn things around.
You know, what breaks me, and then would have break me up if I couldn't be there to defend my children, my daughter. Like if it rains with my daughter, I mean that has to hurt a man. You know, and any decent man will feel that. You know, because we're the covering over our house. The first order of defense is
Absolutely.
You know, security for your family, especially for a man.
Yeah.
And for him not to be able to do that, it has to be hardcore. It's heart wrenching. You know, so my thing that's something that actually really plagues our community, our people. You know. There's not enough fathers inside, but there's not enough fathers coming home telling true stories.
Absolutely.
Case in point, there's a lot of brothers out here that's on these podcasts and doing certain things, but they talking about snitches and they making that a big idol. Technically, if you a dad, you know, so you're going to do what's best to get home to your kid. So a real father, I wouldn't care what you called me if I had to get home to my kids, right? But at the end of the day, what's your take on that snitching thing? Like, what's your... when you look at that, what is your take on that? Because I know you still talk. Because trust me, I wouldn't be sitting there if you didn't. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, my thing with the snitching thing is,
right.
You know, you have to have, like I said, morals and ethic. The snitch thing is it's more acceptable now than it was back then.
Absolutely.
You know, my thing is, if somebody's doing wrong, sometimes you got to step up and tell them that they're doing wrong. You ain't got to go to the cops.
Yeah,
you dig what I mean? But just say, yo, you got to take that. You got to take that out of here. Snitching is not. It's not what's up.
It's not.
But everybody's doing it.
right.
Just think about it. Somebody's telling you what somebody else is doing. You're snitching. You dig what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You know what I mean? But try to if you stay out of negativity, then you ain't got to worry about snitching. You ain't got to worry about telling on nobody because you're not in that circle.
Absolutely.
Let you know, if that's the life people want to live, then you let them live it. You know, I'm not going to say that that's what's up because you still hurting somebody's family.
Yeah.
But if you can talk to them instead of talking to the police, then that might be better. You know.
But I got
in my eyes.
I got something for you, and this is a fact, and I want to address because you know we being childhood friends coming up. We've been around. We 56, both of us 56, right? And we came from that era where we was outside deep, right? Yeah. And everybody, we had a group. We was always even when we was untouchable, whatever group we was, part of whatever organization. One thing we know for a fact, we went out in numbers, right?
Yeah.
None of us, when we got caught, whether it was 10 or 6 of us or 30, 40 of us, that 1 or 2 people that went in. Did their time, came home, the rest of us are still on the street. I mean, am I right, brother? Let's be honest. So now when you look at today's culture, and I want y'all to know how far off y'all are. Because when y'all go in now, 60, 70 people going to jail. So y'all can't even be good criminals.
Right.
Because you're not. The first thing you're thinking of putting your stuff on blast online.
To try to get freed. And that's where accountability comes in. Because if you did what you did, then don't try to, tell on everybody in the world because you don't want to go to jail.
Because now you got to, like you said, that selfish word is one of the most important words here. Right? And you did what you did. Nobody put a gun to your head. The peer pressure wasn't like that. You wanted to be a part of the group.
Right. Do right.
So loyalty and honor is everything. So that's why it's not about the stitch thing. It's about being honorable and loyal to your brothers and sisters. If you take an oath to something, be true to it. Let's be honest. And mainly, I advise you to take an oath to God and stay with God. Say yes to Him and choose Him in your life because that's the best thing.
And I'm going to say with that loyalty that you're saying, like Elliott said, the best loyalty that you could give is to, start doing what's right, and then go to your brothers, your sister, whoever you doing wrong stuff with, and start talking to them and trying to get them out of that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself better and start being a better example to those
that happened
around
to me
you.
and Elle when we was kids, and this is a childhood box thing, and we're gonna talk about it because it's reality. When you realize that you got friends like me and Elle, we was kids. We went to a store, for instance, as kids, right? And when our friends said we did this, we did that, but we didn't go home and we want to fight our friend or anything like that. We realized that in this situation, you can't bring everybody with you when you go certain places. Some people are not built that way because they was brought up in a church background, whatever it is. So that's one thing I say. We never had that problem, and I thank God for that. And Elle's one of the realest people I know. So
but to the youth, I would say if you get yourself out of that circle and you not surrounding yourself with the gangs or the negativity, then you ain't gonna have to worry about snitching or nothing like that.
Right.
All I say is now is the time to find programs that can help you, that can better you. They got the
like
new
yours.
AI things like yours, exactly.
Yours,
troubleshooters, and learn about AI, learn about computers, learn about fixing cars, learn about what you can learn that can help you generate money that you can stay positive. And try that. Yes. I mean, if you tried all the negativity and the different bad stuff, try some good stuff and see what you get out of that. So you don't have to go to prison. So you don't have to be like some of the guys that I met in there. Or even like myself, to be away from my family for 20 years, you have a chance now to turn your life around. So take advantage of whatever program that you can get, or get in contact with troubleshooters, or anything that maybe we can help you out. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to go to prison, or you don't have to get caught up.
Yes.
He'll give you a number or email or something where it can help us to help you. We come to your house, we come talk with you, whatever you need to help you get out of your situation. We'll do our best to do that.
Yeah. And our next segment actually is going to be with another young brother a younger brother than us, who actually was in the system and came home. And he's going to be a remarkable story. But the next session is going to be on that as far as the troubleshooters. But like Elle said, this being a troubleshooter is the on thing right now, because brothers are coming home and sisters are coming home to help their families, and that's important.
Something just popped in my head, and I just want to say this real quick, because I want to ask y'all, right? Because what do you think? Like, the number one thing is what makes people commit crimes. Can we agree that it's money?
It's survival.
It's survival. Money, I mean, you do it for the money. You do it because dudes is flashy. You watch certain movies. You see certain dudes that got certain things. So you want what they want. Right. So you think, this is what's up.
Did it for the girls.
You want the glorification. You want to, I was a legend at this or a legend at that. But once you sitting in that joint and you sitting in that cell and you don't have none of that stuff, it's going to humble you real fast. You're like, I had it, but now have nothing.
So this is what I want to say. Do we think that to give the message to the youth that they should start chasing morals instead of a dollar?
Facts.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you something.
Even with the morals, if you're getting the dollars and you're getting it correct, everything will come. You just got to work hard for it.
Yes,
it's not going to come easy.
But one thing I wanted to touch on that we had to look back into, and why things didn't happen to us so much back then, is because the neighborhood, the community was able to help raise us. Am I right, brother?
Yes,
everybody chipped in. Everybody's parent. You could go tell my parents something about me, or the next person's parents something about them, and nobody had a problem with that. But today, if you go try to take one of the kids to their parents or try to say something, mind your business, and then look at our kids now. But that helped us. That's why we didn't tell each other. It was because we had a certain loyalty and a love, and the neighborhood all chipped in to help raise us.
Yep.
It makes a difference. So we got to get back to that. So that's what this troubleshooting, this yours program is about, bringing us back together, community, in unity. Absolutely. In the community. You know that word unity is in community.
In community, exactly.
The yours and the troubleshooters, if you're watching this, get in contact with us. And we'll reach out and we'll do our best to help you to get out of your situation.
That's right.
Or give you some good advice, or do our best to point you in the right direction. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to walk away from certain things that's negative. It takes some time. It takes 21 days to form a habit. It'll take 21 days to get out of the habit.
And if you want to get out your gang, please, it's very important that you listen to Brother L. We got brothers that was in. We got brothers that are part of our organization that was at the top of the gang, and they're part of troubleshooters. And you know what it is, we bringing brothers out of the gangs and into a more positive lifestyle with morals.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
So.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome,
like,
man.
yes.
I mean,
This is positive things, doing positive things, and for y'all inviting me, I appreciate that. And they always say the sky is the limit, and all we can continue is going up. And when you go up, like they say, it's like you praising the Most High, and that's what's going to keep us. Put your faith in God. I mean, it's God with a lot of
that's why we here.
Name and titles, and whatever you call them, whatever you call them, put your faith in that.
Absolutely.
And that should see you through. And it's not as easy as said. You're gonna get some rough, and once you start doing the right thing, believe me, the devil's busy and he won't try to get at you. But you got to stand on your square, not even square, your circle, because somebody might want your corners.
Yeah.
Right.
Might want your corners. Stand on your circle. Stand on your circle,
them, right?
And just do your best, to stay positive and don't go to prison.
Yes.
You know what, and then you know what. On that note, as far as like when you come out, you come to us. These incredible messengers. Brother L came out. He's a credible messenger now. He's been doing a wonderful thing. And let me show you something that you might not know. Anybody could help bring you to God.
Absolutely.
And I've been going through some things from time to time. When I go, the first thing when I wake up in the morning, I look at my WhatsApp because Brother L sent me a positive message. He's been preaching since he came home. He was sending me messages. He did 20.
I love it.
He did much more. He did 20, and he's still sending me positive information. Nobody else is doing that.
Right.
So to me, it's a long time for my brother to be away, but it hurts. But at the end of the day, God blessed him, made him a better man.
Absolutely.
Shows why he's a stand-up guy. And he did 20. He's still coming home to help his brothers that's out here. You know what I mean? And you know what? I got to say, I salute to you, brother, for that. That's major.
Yes, we are so thankful for men like you out
God
here in the
bless you,
world.
brother.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
good
just
morning
the rain,
blessings. There's a lot of people that I send it, and I've been consistent since I've been out. So
So
but it's all to the Most High. To continue to guide and protect my footsteps.
Right.
As he, as I spread the love be spread farther.
So
Right.
our ministry basically is we really getting into work. We not out here speaking propaganda. We not putting any false things in front of you, putting on any facades. We doing this for real. People really going through. We really making a difference. Our organization has been making a difference, bringing all the organizations together. One of the things is I went to the prison system and I see brothers up there, right? Like Brother L, one of the positive brothers, I seen that in him, but it's brothers up there that's helping the younger brothers now.
Right.
So everybody don't have to go to the gang. Like, don't get it twisted. You have a choice in life. So as a credible messenger, and see, this is how powerful yours is becoming and the troubleshooters is because we inside now.
Right.
Because we inside. Remember, it was the opposite. I was there in 93, and it got crazy. Everybody became blood. But guess what? Now we going back inside with positive messages. We going to get our kids out of this.
Right.
And so those real soldiers like L that came home to do the work out here is why the brothers in there are going to have a better situation. So we thank you for that.
And some of the brothers that's in there, some of the fathers or mothers that's not coming home, that has, forever in a day, that's working on the pills and stuff like that. Just try to be patient with them. Go see them, give them a letter, do something.
Absolutely.
To show them in there that they still have somebody out here. Because there's a lot of positive brothers that's not coming home, that's in there, that's putting in a whole lot of work.
Absolutely.
A whole lot of work.
I got it. So we had a concert. So Brother L is actually also under the troubleshooter program, is probably putting together a bus that'll probably be going, not probably, more than likely will be going up to accommodate these families that's stuck in those situations where people ain't there, families are absent or whatever. Right. We're going to bridge the gap. So Brother L, as part of his ministry, he came up with that idea. Right. And we all support each other's visions here.
Right.
And it ain't just Bo's vision, Deacon Boe, it's everybody's visions that matter, So
teamwork make the dream work.
Right. Praise him. Amen, brother. You preach on that one.
Because everybody make mistakes, it's it's just how, you come out on the other side, and sometimes people need help. Mm-hmm. They need help to come out on the other side. They make a mistake, but sometimes they need a little help and guidance, So, yeah.
I mean, like I said, there's programs out in the city. Just reach out to the programs or reach out to us, and we'll do our best to put you in the right direction. You know, don't be afraid to reach out.
Absolutely.
Well, this is yoursny.org. Our website is our website is currently under construction right now, but you can reach us. You can get in touch with us on the YouTube station. You can find us. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook, and we're still working on the TikTok thing, but it's coming.
It's
coming, right? And then you could just call us. You know, you could look us up. But and then we have our VP, Vice President, Sister Carmita Morgan. She's always available, and you know, she stays outside. You know, our people stay outside.
Absolutely.
So you see her almost anywhere.
Stay tuned for certain stuff that we will be having coming up. You know, you can come out, you can meet us, you know, meet and greet and see what's going on.
Absolutely. And we outside really doing the work. And I thank God for that. And so at the end of this analysis, I just want to say one thing that we got to remember to do is to keep pushing.
And keep praying.
Push and pray.
Push and pray.
Push and pray. And God to do the rest. But you got to push and pray. Yeah. You know, health is wealth. So let's get healthy. Let's keep pushing and praying.
Yes. And God bless y'all.
God bless y'all.
God bless.
Stay encouraged, you know.